Let me tell you how a day that started with a snicker nearly burned down a whole room of egos, and why every time someone sizes you up, they're usually only seeing their own reflection. So picture this: a random Thursday, a gun shop that smells like old oil and bad coffee, metal walls stacked high with enough firepower to turn a deer into mist, and Emily, windbreaker, thrifted backpack, shoes that squeak, walks in, looking less like a regular and more like she's lost. First words out of a clerk's mouth? "You wander in here from yoga class?" He dangles a shotgun like he's showing off a prize trout, smirks. "You even know how to shoot this, princess?" The laughter around her is sharp, but Emily doesn't even blink. Instead, she fixes her gaze on the gun wall and says, "Effin' ballista, phantom sight configuration, Laola Magnum rounds." The shop falls so silent you can hear the lights buzzing. Because nobody's said those specs out loud in years. They're the kind you only know if you've been in places folks here haven't. And right there, you could feel the shift. Judgment can slap harder than any punch. If you felt that sting, yeah, you know. Sometimes it's in a job interview, a family dinner, a classroom, or maybe a place you're told you don't belong. If you're nodding, hit like, drop your story in the comments, subscribe. You're not alone. Anyway, back to Emily. Now, this shop is a fortress for folks who treat rifles like heirlooms, hunters, collectors, ex-military with stories that grow longer every year. Emily's sneakers squeak again on the tile. Behind the counter, Karen, a woman whose nails look sharper than any blade in the store, leans in, smirk on full display. "Sweetie, you sure you didn't mean to hit the bakery next door? We got real hardware, not bread knives." Nearby, an old-timer with a camo shirt and a cigar makes sure everyone's looking. She thinks this is where they fix cameras, right? Probably snaps birds for Instagram. The words bounce around the room. Even the firearms instructor joins in, a guy built like a fridge who picks on newbies to hide his own insecurity. "We don't sell cosplay gear, kid. This ain't Comic-Con." Emily barely flinches. "I'm here to choose a weapon." The room tenses. A mechanic's apprentice, desperate to be one of the guys, snickers at her thrift jeans. "Hey, look at those sneakers, probably just pavement from the welfare line." The laughter's colder now, sharper. Even a woman in hunting camo chimes in. She's slumming it for fun. Thinks playing poor makes her edgy. Emily just tightens her grip on her backpack, then lets her shoulders relax, like she's been through this dance before. It keeps coming. "What's in the bag? Lunch from the dumpster? Protecting your latte from spilling? Bet you want a pink pistol to match your nails, huh?" Each jab is meant to push her out. But Emily stands her ground, calm as sunrise. "Show me the precision models," she says, and suddenly the apprentice, who had all the bravado, loses steam. Even Karen's smile starts to slip. See, back when Emily was growing up in that mansion on the hill, her dad drilled into her that real power isn't loud. It's in the silence that follows. Her family, old money, always expected her to be small and polite, but out on the private range, she learned how to shoot before she learned how to drive. She never needed to talk big. The results spoke for her. The shop manager finally steps out, a man whose eyes say he's seen every trick. Self-defense pistol? Something small. Emily shakes her head, her voice firm. "Effin' ballista. Phantom sight. Magnum rounds." The manager studies her, and you can feel the room contract. A young hunter mutters, "That's government gear. Banned after the border incidents." But Emily doesn't blink. "I used it on the northern border. In a snowstorm." The silence now is different, not mocking, but edged with suspicion. That's when the ex-cop pushes forward, big and blustering, badge hanging from his belt. "Save the fairy tales, sweetheart. You wouldn't last 5 minutes in a real storm." The chorus pipes up. She's spinning yarns. "Where's your proof? A selfie with a snowball?" The room wants her to fold, to admit she's a fake. But Emily stands tall. The configuration handles recoil and sub-zero. Ever tested it yourself? She's not flexing. She's just stating facts. But it rattles them. More challenges pile on. A retired ranger, scars and all, growls, "Used it in a storm? You're insulting us." A salesman sneers, "But you couldn't tell a mag from a clip without Google." The air thickens until Emily reaches for an ammo box, cracks it open, and her sleeve slips just enough to reveal a tattoo, an insignia that makes even the ranger's cane wobble. A tank of a guy, neck covered in ink, yanks a sniper rifle from the rack, lobs it toward her. Try lifting this. Bet you drop it. Emily hoists it one-handed, checks the scope, adjusts the suppressor, all muscle memory. No show. You ever use a triple sight system? She asks. It takes more than muscle. You can see the doubts start to sprout. Karen tries to mock, but her voice is thinner. Even the blogger circling for drama can't get a rise. He shoves a phone in her face. Triple sight? Buzzword. Prove it. Or log off. Emily just replies, the system calibrates for variables you ignore. Suddenly, his phone pings a spec sheet leak. The shop owner flips a switch to the demo range. Show us then. One shot. Emily loads the ballista, lines up, fires. For layers of bulletproof glass, dead center. Ping. The whole place falls silent. Someone whispers, only one person ever pulled that off. But she disappeared. Emily's not gloating. Her hand just brushes her backpack, touching a photo of her as a kid, reminder of where she came from and why she doesn't quit. But it's never enough. The survivalist in the corner, beard full of knots, grunts, fluke. You'd faint at a real setup. A hobbyist taunts, amateur stance. She's cheating. Emily just spins a bullet on the counter. Embedded on it, SPC-17 Ghost. The room erupts. That's a ghost program tag. The store owner tries to search her record, classified. People realize she's not military, she's off the grid, erased by design. Now it's a circus. The pro shooter with metal sneers, fake tag. Engrave your lies elsewhere. But Emily flips the bullet, holographic seal, erased ops verification. The clerk demands ID. Emily pulls out a faded card, the thread inside glowing. A customs officer, itching to flex authority, stamps a form, denied. But the thread glows again, presidential clearance. The shop falls into a stunned hush. Then, a helicopter outside. A federal agent, her husband, though no one knows, walks in, hands her a sealed envelope. Urgent recall. Signed by the president. The manager can only whisper, "Who are you really?" Emily says quietly, "Just a regular customer." As she turns to leave, a tech analyst tries to scan her envelope. His device shorts out, security layers frying his screen. Days later, consequences start rolling in. Karen, the receptionist, is quietly fired. The shop's government contracts can't risk the drama. The old-timer loses his club membership. The instructor, exposed online, loses sponsors. The collector gets audited. The hobbyists, the bullies, the dealer all find themselves on the wrong end of reality. No drama. Just slow, silent justice. Emily never looks back. She doesn't gloat. Her silence is her shield. And as she boards the chopper, envelope tucked away, the lurkers, the haters, even the whistleblower trying to expose her, all find themselves erased by the same system that doubted her. She closes her eyes, lets the world fall away. Because being underestimated isn't a curse. It's a crucible. Maybe you know that feeling. Maybe you've had to prove yourself, not for show, but just to keep your dignity intact. So here's my question. Where have you had to hold your ground when the room wanted you gone? Drop your story in the comments. Hit subscribe if you're walking this road. 2. Because the fight for respect, for justice, for just being seen is enough. That's what binds us. And out there, sometimes the silence is the loudest answer of all.